welcome back to Miss Emily's Story Corner. This week we're still learning about the ocean and ocean animals. Today we're going to read a story called Commotion in the Ocean. Now, commotion means lots of action and things going on, so that's perfect for this story because in this story we'll see a lot of different types of ocean animals. Afterwards we'll talk about fish and mammals, and we'll talk some more about different kinds of animals that live in the ocean. Okay, so this story, Commotion in the Ocean, is by Giles, Andreae, and David Widowitz. Commotion in the Ocean. There's a curious commotion at the bottom of the ocean. I think we ought to go and take a look. You'll find every sort of creature that lives beneath the sea swimming through the pages of this book. There are dolphins, whales, and penguins. There are jellyfish and sharks. There's the turtle and the big white polar bear. But can you see behind the wrecks and in between the rocks? Let's take a look and find who's hiding there. The crab. The crab likes walking sideways, and I think the reason why is to make himself look sneaky and pretend that he's a spy. He walks sideways and snaps his little snappers. Turtles. We crawl up on the beach from the water to bury our eggs on dry land. We lay a whole batch. Then when they hatch, they scamper about the sand. So baby turtles come out of little eggs in the sand, and then when they hatch, they crawl out towards the water. Dolphins. The wonderful thing about dolphins is hearing them try to speak. It's not how do you do, as I'd say to you. It's more of a click, whistle, squeak. Angelfish. Hello, I'm the angelfish, darling, the prettiest thing in the sea. What a shame there are no other creatures as gorgeous and lovely as me. Jellyfish. The jellyfish just loves to jiggle, which other fish think is quite silly. She knows that it's not at all useful, but jiggling is a lot of fun. Can you jiggle, jiggle? Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle like a jellyfish? Oh, the shark. I swim with a grin up to greet you. See how my jaws open wide? Why don't you come a bit closer? Please take a look inside. The swordfish. I love to chase after small fishes. It keeps me from getting too bored. And then when I start feeling hungry, I skewer a few on my sword. See how he has this big, pointy, long nose? And then we have the octopus. Having 8 arms can be useful. You might think it looks a bit funny, but it helps me to hold all my children and tickle each one in the tummy. So our octopus has 8 arms. The stingray. At the bottom of the ocean, the stingray flaps his wings, but don't get too close to him. His tail really stings. The lobster. Never shake hands with a lobster. It isn't a wise thing to do. With a clippity clap and a snippity snap, he would snip all your fingers in two. They have really strong claws, lobsters do. Deep sea. Ooh, so the farther that we go down into the sea, into the ocean, there is less and less light. So at the very, very bottom of the ocean where it's really, really deep, it is black down there and there's no light. So different kinds of creatures live down there. Miles below the surface, where the water's dark and deep, live the most amazing creatures that you would ever meet. There are fish of all descriptions, of every shape and size. Some have giant pointy teeth and great big bulging eyes. Some of them can walk around and balance on their fins, but the strangest fish of all have glowing whiskers on their chins. So if you've ever seen Finding Nemo, do you remember a fish that looks like this? I believe they're called anglerfish. They have this little light on the end and that attracts other fish to them. So there's a part in Finding Nemo where Marlin and Dory find one of these fish, and it's really scary looking. It has huge teeth. The blue whale. There's no other beast on the planet as big as the giant blue whale. He measures a massive 100 feet long from his head to the tip of his tail. So if you can see the little fish down here, that's trying to show how big this guy really is. He is huge. He's like longer than a school bus. And down here it says barnacles. We're just a bunch of barnacles and all we do is cling. We know it's not that glamorous, but it's our favorite thing. So all these little barnacles down here, they just stick to things and sometimes to animals. Walruses. Our bodies are covered with blubber and our tusks are incredibly long. Their tusks. We're grumpy and proud and we bellow out loud to show that we're mighty and strong. And then there's parts of the ocean where it's really, really cold at the top of the earth and the bottom of the earth. We learned a little bit about the North Pole and the South Pole. So these are our Arctic Ocean animals, okay? Penguins. We waddle around on our icebergs, which makes our feet slither and slide. And when we get close to the water, we leap with a splash off the side. So if you remember, penguins live in the South Pole and polar bears live in the North Pole, in the Arctic and the Antarctic. Polar bears deep out in the Arctic. The mommy polar bear snuggles up with all her children since it's very cold out there. What a lot of creatures we have seen beneath the sea. What a lot of funny things they do. Some of them might lick their lips and eat you in one bite, and some might want to swim around with you. The dolphin's very friendly and the lobster's very fierce. But the shark is the most dangerous by far. Can you name some of the friends we've made along the way? See if you can tell me who they are. Wow. Okay, so in that story, we saw a lot of fish, but we also saw a lot of mammals. When we were learning about the zoo, we learned a little bit about mammals and how mammals breathe air and how they have babies that are alive, not in eggs. So birds have babies that are in eggs, so they are not mammals. But giraffes have babies that are just alive when they're born, so a giraffe is a mammal. So mammals breathe air, they have babies that are alive, not in eggs, and then their babies also drink milk from their mommies. So that's how we know if it's a mammal, okay? So under the ocean, there's lots of fish that lives under the ocean, but there's also lots of mammals, okay? So we have mammals that live in the ocean and fish that live in the ocean, okay? So if you remember in Finding Nemo, at the beginning, there's all those fish eggs, okay? So Marlin, the clownfish, is a fish because his babies were in little eggs, okay? But the stingray in Finding Nemo would be a mammal because stingrays do not lay eggs. They have babies that are alive. I have a little song to help us remember the mammals and fish, and it goes like this. Mammals and fish both swim in the ocean, swim in the ocean, swim in the ocean. Mammals and fish both swim in the ocean, but one comes up for air, and that is mammals. Mammals need to breathe fresh air, breathe fresh air, breathe fresh air. Mammals need to breathe fresh air, but fish stay underwater. So some fish in the ocean, those fish, like our friend Princess Pickles, our class pet who is a fish, she does not need to come up for air because she has gills, and those help her breathe underwater. But animals like the killer whale or the orca, is a mammal because they have to come up for air. So they might jump out of the water like this, and while they're doing that, they might take a breath of air and then go down. They can hold their breath for quite a long time, but they still need to come up to get air. Ocean mammals need to come up to the surface to breathe air. Okay, so this is a whale, and he's coming up to breathe air. Okay, you can't see in this whale picture, but if you see, he has his dorsal fin up here. He has his flippers and his tail, but his flippers on his tail we actually call flukes. Do you see how he has his flukes? They help him swim and jump out of the water. And then you can't see, but up here would be his blowhole. Okay, so that's where they breathe their air. They have this hole on the top of their head that when they come up to the surface, it goes and helps them take a big breath of air. So they don't take the breath through their mouth, but they take the breath of air through this little hole on top of their head. And whales have those too. It would be up here somewhere. Sometimes when they come up to breathe air, you can see their blowhole will spray a bunch of water out too. Because it might have some water in it first. They have to blow it out so before they can take a big breath of air. Same with dolphins. Okay, so dolphins have to come up to breathe air too. So are they a fish or a mammal? If the dolphin has to breathe air, is he a fish or an ocean mammal? He is a mammal. Do you see the dolphin's blowhole? If you look really close. Yes, see, it's right there. That's where he takes a big breath of air. They can also spray water out of that hole too. So he has his blowhole, and there's his flippers and his fin. And down here you can't see in the water would be his tail, or what we call his flukes. Good. Since we just talked all about ocean mammals and how they have to breathe air at the top of the water, I thought we could label the parts of our whale. So you might have this sheet at home, the sheet that I sent home with you. If you want to do it with me, you can. If you already did it, that's fine too. So I have my little words here, and I wondered if you could help me label my whale. So, our first word starts with M. It is his mouth. Where is his mouth? And these are the spots where we're going to put the words. Okay, so shout out if I point to the right spot on him. Where should I put the word mouth? Here, here, or here, maybe here. Yes, mouth goes right there. Okay, our next word is eye. Where is his eye? Here's your eye. Where is the whale's eye? Does this arrow point to his eye? Nope. What about this one? Yes, so we're gonna put the word eye here. All right, what about, we just learned about this word. Starts with a B, blowhole. Where is his blowhole that helps him breathe air? Because he is a mammal. Is this his blowhole? What about this one? Does this arrow point to his blowhole? Yes. Right there. Next one starts with F. Flukes. We just learned this word too. Where are his flukes? Remember I said the flukes help them swim through the water and help push and jump, be able to jump out of the water? His flukes are on his tail. Here or here? Yep, flukes are on his tail. The two flippers here are his flukes. Okay, and what was this one called here, his side ones? Dolphins have them too. Also starts with F. Flipper. That is his flipper. Okay. Super job with that, friends. Thank you for helping label our parts of a whale. And I hope you had fun learning about fish and mammals with me today and reading our story. So don't forget to read our story every day and be a good friend. And I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.